In today's episode, we are asking, is breathwork actually a somatic therapy? And how can we use this to unveil the mind and body connection? So welcome to Influential Breathwork today, where we're exploring the fascinating world of holistic health and wellness through the power of breath. I'm your host, Anna Parker-Naples, and founder of Influential Breathwork Academy. And today we're actually diving into an intriguing area. Is breathwork a somatic therapy? So we're going to be looking at what the definitions are for each of the terms involved in this key discussion today, and how your breath can then become a really powerful tool for healing, which, as far as I'm concerned, is indisputable. So let's start then by breaking down a few of these terms. So when we say breath work, we're really referring to various breathing techniques and exercises that are designed to improve physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Now, this can range from really simple diaphragmatic breathing to more intense practices such as holotropic breath work or conscious connected breaths, where it can be used to deliberately change your ability to hold your breath in certain instances, to improve your physical health, to improve your mental health, to release trauma. There's so much variety within that term breath work. But what do we actually mean by somatic then? So I don't know about you, but suddenly this word is everywhere in the coaching space. And what is it? What does it actually mean? Well, the term somatic comes from the Greek word soma, which actually means body. Okay, so when we're talking about somatic therapy, we're actually talking about body. So in the context of therapy and healing then, instead of us just having talk therapy that is really looking at what the brain is doing, we're looking at how the body is affected by things that happen to us. So what we're looking at then is not only internal physical processes that are affected by things that have happened to us, but also the muscular patterns, the muscular holding, and also nervous system responses. So somatic therapy, therefore, is a holistic form of body-centered therapy. And it looks at the connection between the mind, what we think, and the body, what we feel, and also uses psychotherapy and physical therapies for healing. Now, the fundamental belief in somatic therapy is that our bodies hold on to our experiences, our emotions, and our traumas, not just our minds. And there's now been so much research into trauma and what happens bodily and in the brain. And there's so much research into the somatic therapy as well. So what we're talking about then is a way to really tap in. I use that phrase a lot on this podcast, really tap into what's going on in the body to feel better, to feel lighter, to feel released. And in fact, in Influential Breathwork, we talk about the 5 layers of release quite often as part of our protocol. So normal standard somatic therapy entails in a typical session, a somatic therapist would be guiding you through things like body awareness exercises. So you're learning to really tune into physical sensations, tensions, and also emotions that are in your body. This can also be grounding techniques, practices that can help you to feel much more present and much more connected to your physical self, reminding you that you are far more than just your brain, just your mind. They also get you to look at things like movement exercises, using physical movement to release tension and to express emotion that may have been trapped. So, for example, if at a point in your childhood you had wanted to lash out at someone who was hurting you or somebody else, but you didn't, you kept that emotion inside you. Sometimes just that allowing the body to go through that physical sensation of lashing out can help you to disperse those emotions. In somatic therapy, a lot of touch work happens, and where appropriate and with consent, touch can then be used to release physical tension. Now, I think with all sorts of types of massage, we are really familiar with the fact that touch can massively help you to shift a lot of that physical tension, but it can release a lot of emotions as well. And if you've ever had a really deep tissue massage, you will know, right, that sometimes things come to the surface and you can feel quite depleted afterwards, but also feel good and feel released. And then the fifth component really within somatic therapy is breathwork. And breathwork is often a component of somatic therapy. Somatic therapy can be absolutely profound, and many people experience being more in their bodies. They can feel as though they've let go of long held tensions, or they're suddenly connecting with their physical sensations and understanding that there's actually an emotional message or an emotional experience there. So, for example, someone who might suffer from chronic shoulder tension might realize that it's unexpressed anger. And by becoming more familiar with those anger feelings, particularly if there's someone who says, I never get angry, well, actually, they can begin to dissipate and release those things as well. So it could be also, another example is if someone has a lot of fluttering sensations in their body, they may come to understand that that's a signal that there is some anxiety that hasn't yet been worked through, that is still really present for them, no matter how long it's been there. So where does breathwork fit into this? So as we've said before, breathwork can be a part and is often a part of somatic therapy. However, not all breathwork techniques are somatic. The ones that are when we engage in conscious breathing, where we're directly influencing our nervous system with the deep, slow breaths that are activating that parasympathetic nervous system, so that our rest and digest mode is activated. We can become calmer, to be more in tune with what's going on in our body. When we do more of the shallow breathing that's really rapid, and we're doing that on a kind of longer breathwork journey, like conscious connected breathing, and we're going faster with it, and what we're consciously doing, deliberately doing, is activating and triggering the body's sympathetic fight or it's hard to get out sometimes, fight or flight response, then in that case, actually what we're doing is we're potentially giving the body an opportunity to release stored trauma. Okay, so we can see then that there are parallels with those breathing techniques and why they're so crucial within somatic therapy. However, it's not always the case that you are going to be, every single breathwork type is actually a somatic release. So we can use breath, for example, to be really focused on using the breath to do holds for particular reasons that are about elongating your health. So, for example, there are all sorts of breathing techniques where you might be focusing on extenuating breath holds or practicing short breath holds, so that you are increasing your body's ability to react to stress. Now, they aren't necessarily going to be useful for somatic release, okay? What is amazing with any form of breathwork, though, is that it allows you to become much more aware of what's going on in your body. It allows you to become much more aware of sensations you probably aren't usually conscious of. And it's that awareness that can really help you to become aware. I'm going to use that word again, aware of the fact you might have tension in your jaw, you might have tingles in your tummy, there might be a sensation in your hands or your fingers that you've not been aware of before. And then you can start to release things through them. Lots of breathing exercises can be done safely at home without a therapist or an expert or a coach into this, because you can use them to increase your body awareness, to promote relaxation. And one way that you can start with connecting the dots with somatic therapy and somatic breathing is to just simply sit comfortably with your eyes closed. Take a big deep breath in through your nose, making sure that you're feeling your belly expand, and then exhale super slowly. Okay, you can exhale through your nose, you can exhale through your mouth. My preference would be the nose, but it's up to you. And as you're doing that slower breathing, you're going to be scanning your body from head to toe. And all you're doing, not changing anything, you're just noticing areas of discomfort that are happening for you. And with each exhale, you're going to then just imagine that you're releasing any of that tension or any of that story or any of that emotion that you find in your body. And just continue that exercise with that slow breathing, with that awareness of what's going on. And once you've done that for a few minutes, just open your eyes and come back and think to yourself, how did that feel? Were there any interesting sensations that I noticed? Were there any emotions that arose? Were there any stories that I was surprised were coming back into my mind because you'd sat with a tension or a sensation in your body? So to wrap up then, not all breathwork is necessarily somatic therapy, but breathwork has strong somatic elements. And certainly breathwork is a strong component of somatic therapy. It engages the body directly, it influences our nervous system and can bring awareness to stored emotions and experiences. And when we use the breath intentionally and mindfully, breathwork can be a hugely powerful tool in the somatic healing toolkit. If you want to explore breathwork much further, whether it's through guided sessions or simple daily exercises, go and have a look at all of the resources on the YouTube channel Influential Breathwork, because when you master your breath, when you understand that breath is with you from the moment you were born until the moment that you are no longer with us on this planet, then the more you can become in touch with what's going on in your body, the better you will feel. The more relaxed you will feel, the more regulated you will feel, the better decisions you're going to make, and the less stressed you're going to be. So I hope you found this interesting, and thank you so much for tuning in to Influential Breathwork today. If you found this useful or entertaining, then comment below, or please do share it with a friend who might be super curious about breathwork. Until the next episode, keep breathing and stay really curious about all of that wisdom, knowledge, and information that your body is holding on to.